Hey, this is Al from Transformational Gaming. Appreciate you coming to the channel. Today we're talking about Gamescom. What's wrong with showcases in general? Today we had a second run of Gamescom there a little bit, and I decided to reshoot this video because the last video was kind of obsolete, but it still brings about a point that I wanted to bring up during the videos. But before we get into all that, I'd like to thank you guys for coming by and representing the channel so well. We're all the way up to 800. We're past 800. I think right now we're at 804, and let's just keep it there, guys. I want to do more streams and stuff like that. Some of you have suggested that. Until then, just keep supporting the channel. And I like to say, let's celebrate the 800 goal that we got, and let's move on to 900 and beyond. So keep coming to the channel, keep supporting the channel. I really do appreciate that. Now, let's get into Gamescom and my thoughts on these showcases. The real problem with these showcases is that it's just no rhyme or reason to the games that are being showcased and the order that they showcased. And my thoughts is that is ruining the art that we call showcase. To be totally honest with you, in my opinion, if we keep going down this road, I think that showcases are going to become obsolete. And when I say obsolete, I think there are always going to be some type of showcase or some type of E3 take on video games or a celebration of video games. But I think showcases like Gamescom or whatnot, I think that those are going to be quickly extinct, because I think the smaller showcases work better. So even like right now, Gamescom is running like a 3-day or 4-day type of series for the actual Gamescom, and to some that may be a little bit too much. For example, on the first day they had all the type of game awards and stuff like that, and not only you had to meet and greet the developers, and don't get me wrong, I love meet and greeting developers. That's good for like if you actually there, so you can actually ping their brain about certain things that's going on in the industry and stuff like that. That's awesome. But I think having it in this setting to where everyone's just kind of watching and not necessarily knowing what's going on with it, and I just think that having the developers on, unless you're a blockbuster guy like Phil Spencer, Hideo Kojima, put your star in there, right? Jim Ryan, Shuhei. Really, unless you those people, to be totally honest with you, people is not really interested in interviewing the developers and having them give speeches for awards. Now, there is a dev developer conference at the beginning of the year, and to me that's where all that belongs to. But to me, like if you're doing a showcase for different third party or smaller published games, to me you sending the wrong message. I think you sending the wrong message at the wrong time. To me, these need to be games only type of scenarios, especially if you having them streamed and stuff like that. I think that's a recipe for disaster. And also another problem I have with the Gamescom situation is that there's a hodgepodge of games, because people like different things, right? People like AAA games, some gamers who like indie games, side scroll games, or Metrovania games. And to me, having those games all type of interwoven together back to back, I think you're going to turn some people off, because if people see two games in a row that's not in their wheelhouse genre or whatnot, it's just my opinion that it's going to make the show feel slow and dull, and there's no games there. And they showed some pretty good games. I think Callisto Protocol, that's an awesome game. Where Wind Meets, I think that's an awesome game. And there's a lot of different games out there that was on this day one showcase. Now day two to me was a semi-disaster, even though they had the God of War people out there. They had Christopher Judd and the lady who played, I think her name was like Danielle, something like that, but she played the witch in the woods or whatever. And even though they had those two people who are very integral to God of War series that everyone is looking for. Had they had like a God of War but gameplay footage or something like that, I think that would have been great. But instead of that, you had them narrating and basically throwing jabs at some of the games. like this game, and I don't even know the name of it. I'm responding hot off the second day, but the game kind of looked like The Last of Us, and the lady Danielle, she was like, I hope this ain't The Last of Us. So I just think it's funny, but it kind of is like a judgment on what that showcase was like for the second day. I mean, it was semi-disaster. They had all type of technical difficulties. I'm pretty sure 90% of those games go 60 frames per second, but we couldn't get that because they did a premiere for the showcase, and I think that it hurt it. And I think moving forward, these showcases is going to be hurt. I think after a while, showcases like that is going to render the showcases obsolete, because, you know, people like Sony, Square, Capcom, they all competitors with Gamescom. And I just think that Gamescom is going to render itself obsolete just by not necessarily have a rhyme or reason in the order of how they display the games. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they had some really good reveals, but they was far and few between. And to me, you put AAA games with these indie games or these rated for everyone games, I think you need to capture the right audience for the right games. And let's just say these AAA games, they weren't all that good. Let's just say they weren't all good, but they was just average. At least you have AAA games that some people may like, some people may not like. And I just believe not having the appropriate category of games being showed. So like even Sony, they may put all of the indie games on the front end and then have all of the premier games or AAA games on the back end of their showcase. To me, that's a better way of doing it, instead of just mix matching all of these different genres of games. And don't get me wrong, it's not just about genre, it's about the scope of games. You want to have all AAA shown at some point, so people who don't like these indie games and some of these games that are rated E for everyone, okay, people who don't like those games, they can move on, or they can pick from the stack that they want. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are into Sonic, but that was kind of brought in with the AAA games, even though you can say that that game has a lot of resources into it because it's using Unreal Engine 5 techniques or whatever. And so I guess the exception is Sonic. But I guess the point is, and I guess I'm repeating myself, but the point is that you just don't want to have all of the games that are not AAA games, or that are not games that are just made for prime time, or indie games. You don't want to show all those games within one day or one setting or one section. You don't want to mix match those games. You want to have some type of order to what people are seeing, because honestly, I just felt like that I had to go through a whole bunch of bad games to get to the games that I wanted to see. And there's got to be a better way to organize these games so that everybody can have what they want. And then if you want to have a award day or whatever, that may be some who tune in for that. To me, you just can't have a situation where, okay, we're going to get them with this because we know not that many people like seeing this, but right after the world premiere or whatever, we're going to have some type of game award and have the developer gives a speech. I think you're messing with people's emotions. So yeah, I think I've said enough. There's a lot of good games there that I'm interested in. I don't know what games you guys are really looking for, but Callisto is definitely a game that I want to see. I like this premiere of the Sony controller. Very interested in that. I probably won't get that day one because I'm pretty sure they're going to have different colors, but I am interested in it. The Hideo Kojima podcast, I think it was something good for the people to see, because I think anytime you bring Kojima out, there's going to be interest. But I'm wondering what this podcast is going to be like, because to me it's going to be just another commercial. I don't think Kojima is going to be trying to kick the facts. You want the facts, delivered to you correctly, you better come to Transformational Gaming, because I don't think Kojima's trying to kick the facts like in a way that would stop any type of sponsorship of the game or any type of promotion of the game. Kojima's going to be trying to promote his people, his peers, all the people who he worked with. This is like a promotion podcast. Really, that's what they should call it. But yeah, there was a lot of good games within here. I'm definitely looking forward to Dead Island 2. Dead Island 2 is a game that is pretty much has been out there for like 15 years. Nobody knew what happened to it. They didn't even announce that it was really being canceled, but it seemed like they picked it up 4 years ago, or so they say, and it looks like it's back in development. So Dead Island 2 is pretty good, but like I said, the games that anybody was interested in was far and few between. And to me, you have to divide these up in a better way, so not to trick the users who don't want to see that into seeing it, because I think that you're going to turn a lot of people off. Both days were 2 hours. People can do some real things with those 2 hours, make a lot of money in 2 hours. You know, so, but I don't know, you guys tell me. Let me know what y'all think. Again, we're past 800, and let's all celebrate. No, I'm not gonna go online and do a stream or anything like that, but then again, it's one of those things. So anyway, you guys keep watching, you guys keep coming to the channel, you keep promoting and encouraging, so we can get more content to you guys. I think we can really get out to the people what's real, that's important. So anyway, this is Al from Transformational Gaming. May the truth set you free. Later.